This small talk will be about the publishing party of the Kingfisher, which was published in 1983 by the late American poet May Clampitt, whose great 5 volumes came in late in her life, in the last decade, when she was too old. But she's often regarded as America's youngest old poet. So this is the way that the party was arranged. I'm going to read from the latest book by Willard Spiegelman, the biography that was written in 2023, and it comes from pages 251 and 252. So, it was like this. The publishing party, an old cultural phenomenon that has now virtually disappeared, took place at the Roosevelt House, 47 East 65th Street, on February 3rd, 1983, arranged by Alfred Knopf, but paid for by Amy and Hal. The venue was in their neighborhood, but it was hardly part of their daily existence. The event was a very fine celebration of a much delayed maiden speech, a sort of literary coming out party. It combined the elegant and the casual, refinement and enthusiasm. Amy described the event in a letter to her friend Risma Mitchell 10 days later. Howard Moss was there, as were the poets Marilyn Hacker, May Swenson, St. J.D. McClatchy, and Alfred Korn, the young novelists Anne Ansberg and Laurie Colwyn, as well as David Schuburn, long indebted to Amy for her editorial help. Larry, this is Amy's brother, and Jean, her sister-in-law, Clampitt, came down from Boston. Amy was delighted that her editor, Alice Queen, this is her first editor, and Close was her second editor, had sent a bouquet containing anemones, stock, delphinium, and freesias, her favorite winter flower. George Gershwin's piano stood in a corner of the big drawing room of Sarah Delano Roosevelt's former townhouse, overlooking the garden. A trio of classical music was played. Catering included, appropriately for a poet besotted by English culture, watercress and cucumber sandwiches, little boiled potatoes stuffed with sour cream and caviar, and skewered melon balls topped with a single bead of blueberry. The last especially delighted the honoree, probably because of the blueberry made a nod in the direction of Maine, her hometown, its landscape, and its summer fecundity. It may have been a winter day, but the event itself radiated with warmth and fine feeling. People had to be shooed from the house. No one wanted to leave. It was the kind of celebration at which people who knew one another mingled happily with strangers, and where pretense and self-promotion were in short supply, literary eminences shared laughs and stories with nobodies. Regina and Stephen Banks, these are business people, Regina and Stephen Banks headed to the Upper East Side from downtown with several other old lefties from Amy's activist days. Regina's Barry, a neighbor from the West 12th Street, said that everyone from the tenants organization who had voted against turning the 3 adjacent buildings into co-ops also came uptown, a rare occurrence, to rally around their politically active neighbor. It was the most elegant thing. Amy always knew how to find the best caterers. Amy's sometime neighbors on West 12th Street were mostly young people who, as she had done decades earlier, also came to Manhattan to make a go at city life. They were songwriters, artists, students, people working in the advertising, the usual range of occupations, downtown blended in with uptown, west side with east side. Amy's friend brought along their own friends who were genuinely glad to meet the latest poetic sensation and to toast someone who was an ordinary New Yorker as well as a literary luminary. And then boom, 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 boom came out 5 volumes, The Westward, What the Light Was Like, The Archaic Figure, and A Silence Opens from 1994, which according to Anne Closer, second editor, of course is a book that is a little bit different from the other books that she wrote. That is how the Kingfisher Party came to an end and how Amy celebrated it. Thank you.